So, today we're unpacking something pretty remarkable. It's an incredibly rare and direct open letter that was sent to the King of Morocco, Mohammed VI. And this isn't just some political commentary. It's a solemn appeal, almost a warning shot, fired right at the heart of the kingdom's leadership.
I mean, listen to that opening line. The nation is in danger and trust is dissolving. There's no gentle introduction, no easing into it. Right from the get-go, it establishes the sense of crisis, arguing that the social fabric of the country is falling apart not because of some outside threat, but from within.
Now, to really get what's happening, you have to understand this isn't just any letter. It's what's known in Arabic as a munashada, and that word is key because it transforms this document from a simple complaint into a formal public plea to the highest authority in the entire country.
Yeah, the cultural weight of munashada is huge. This is not a tweet. It's not a protest sign. It's a culturally understood, deeply serious way of communicating that basically says all other options have failed, and this issue is now a matter of national survival.
So who is the person brave enough to write this? His name is Al-Hajj Ali Al-Filali. He's the president of a union of volunteers from the famous Green March. And his motivation? He calls it national jealousy. You can think of that as a kind of fierce, protective patriotism and a sincere fear for his country. He's framing this not as a political hit job, but as his patriotic duty. And the letter doesn't waste any time. It zeroes in on one person as the source of all this national distress, the Prime Minister, Aziz Akhannouch. The author basically argues he's become the living symbol of the country's problems.
Here's the core of the problem, right? The letter lays out what it sees as an impossible conflict of interest. On one side, you've got the Prime Minister, whose job is to serve the nation. On the other side, you've got a business tycoon. The author is asking, how can one man govern fairly while also allegedly profiting from the very industries he's supposed to be regulating?
And this is where it gets really personal, really visceral. The letter poses this cutting question directly to the king, using this powerful image of ordinary citizens being burned by the flames of high prices, while the prime minister allegedly benefits from his control of the fuel market.
So the picture the letter paints is, well, it's pretty damning. The prime minister is presented not just as a flawed leader, but as the total embodiment of what the author thinks is wrong with the system. A mix of political power and personal wealth that, according to the letter, operates with zero accountability. Okay, so after pointing the finger at one person, the letter then zooms out. It starts to describe the fallout for the whole nation, arguing that these policies and conflicts of interest are creating a societal pressure cooker that's about to blow. It talks about a crushed middle class, the very group that holds a society together. The letter claims that their struggle, combined with growing anger and hardship among the poor, is creating this widespread sense of social decay. And this really hits home when the letter starts questioning where all the money is going. It's asking the king, how is it possible that so many resources are being poured into huge projects for something like the World Cup, while basic needs like hospitals and schools are supposedly falling apart? It's a stark argument about misplaced priorities. And this is where we get to the most serious part of the letter. The author isn't just criticizing the government anymore. He's now explicitly warning the king that this whole situation poses a direct, existential threat to the monarchy itself and the stability of the entire country. So what is the end game here? What is the absolute worst-case scenario that the writer is so desperate to prevent with this dramatic appeal?
The answer? 2 words. A social volcano. The letter uses this incredibly powerful metaphor to warn that all this public anger is building up pressure underground, getting ready for an eruption that, in the author's words, could leave nothing and spare no one.
This is maybe the most audacious claim in the entire letter. The author tells the king, straight up, that public anger is starting to shift towards him, towards the monarchy. And the reason is so critical. It's not for something the king did, but for what he didn't do. The letter argues that his silence is being interpreted as complicity and that is eroding trust in the entire institution. The letter doesn't just point out problems, though. It offers a solution, A very clear, very blunt prescription. This is the ultimatum, the only way, in the author's eyes, to stop the disaster he sees coming. And the demands are crystal clear. There's no wiggle room. 1. Fire the prime minister immediately. 2. Launch a real impartial investigation into how he got his wealth. And 3. Completely reevaluate the country's priorities to focus on the people, not, as the letter implies, on a greedy elite. It's a clear, 3-step path to redemption. And so the letter ends with this haunting question. It's a final, dramatic plea. It frames the entire situation as a stark choice between the king taking decisive action or letting silence win until everyone drowns. And it leaves the king, and all of us really, to think about the immense weight of that choice.